Hello folks, this is Ian from StableMaster. Welcome to part 2 of our video wiki on how to configure StableMaster for the first time. So in part 1 we covered general settings, account, adult child ranges, customer types, ethnicity and employees. In this next session we're going to go through lessons, events and facilities. So this is purely around configuring StableMaster to run the way you want. There'll be subsequent wiki videos on how to use the functionality within StableMaster and navigate yourself around the various areas. So lessons, events and facilities. So lessons, what do we mean by that? We mean, well, clearly riding stables generally have the ability to provide lessons for customers. So what you really need to do is configure what those lessons look like in terms of when they run, how many riders they have available to them, what kind of riding capability is required in those lessons, how often they run, who the instructors are, etc, etc. So we'll walk you through that. Events and facilities. So events follows a similar model to lessons. Events are generally one-off occurrences, showings, for example, and or competitions. But also you can use events to basically make horses or staff unavailable for lesson bookings. So you can use events to log absence and as such make particular resources not available for bookings. And facilities, this is more around your arenas that you have available to you for your lessons and also horse locations. So let's start from the top then. Let's go into arenas, click on that, and very straightforward. So as you can see in this particular stable we have no arenas configured, so what I'm going to do is going to go in and add a new arena, and the arena we can just say is bottom yard, and yeah, any additional information you want to add, you can add that. Just to save it, enable it, already enabled, save it, and that means bottom yard now is available as an arena to you. So that means you can book lessons in the arena and also use it for events. So arenas, let's go in and do that again. Let's just add a new arena. Let's call it top paddock for want of a better name. Save that, and as you can see now, you've got a bottom yard and you've got a top paddock, which now become available for booking. So that's arenas. In terms of their availability, that's all managed in the back end by the system, so that arenas and yards, etc., cannot be double booked for the same lessons. It avoids that booking conflict. Horse locations, useful for larger stables who have multiple barns and areas where they house horses. So again, very straightforward. We can call this barn 1, add a new barn, and also you can set the capacity so you don't overbook the barn in terms of numbers of horses stabled there. And again, you can add a description should you wish. So again, now barn 1 is now available for us to allocate horses to. So that's horse locations. Lesson types. So let's just dig in here. Right, so we've got no lesson types configured at the moment. Let's add a new lesson type. So let's call this name, let's call it a 1 hour beginner. Okay, and minimum riding experience is beginner. Max riders, let's say there's 10 maximum riders for that particular lesson. Period of minutes, it's an hour's lesson, so let's make that 60. And the on-season adult cost, let's say that's £15, and the off-season is 10. And the on-season child cost, let's call that 10, and let's call that £7.50. Okay, so there's that lesson type saved. Now you can add multiple lesson types, all dependent upon the types of lessons your particular riding school offer. But it's basically as simple as that. You can go in and edit that should you wish to at a later date. But this is what we call configuration data. So this will drive behavior in the system later as you come to add customers to lessons. Similarly with lesson types, we've got event types, which again, very straightforward. What's the event name? Well, let's say it's dressage competition. excuse my typing. And the minimal lining experience for that must be intermediate, and we can have 8 participants as a maximum there, and it's £25 to enter that particular event. And if you wish, you can apply a discounted cost. So if it's £25 for adult, maybe £15 for juniors, and that's the discounted cost. And you could probably say discounted cost in here is for juniors. What you will notice is we haven't actually allocated arena to that, and that's fine. That comes a little bit later when you come to set this particular event up. So let's save that. And so now we've managed to set up a couple of lesson types and an event type. We've got our horse locations configured, and we've got our arenas configured. So bearing in mind, this is all about configuration in the back end. It's not actually about adding riders to lessons, etc., etc. This is more about just back end configuration. So that concludes this particular video, and in the next video, part 3, we'll be moving on to product suppliers and payment options, and then also looking at reporting. Thank you, folks.